it is time. Oh, we never actually did this.
It's time for a good old-fashioned Q&A.
Yes.
Fans.
I just got a weird email here.
Ladies and gentlemen, the moment has arrived to hear from the man himself, Ariel Helwani.
Oh, don't mind me.
Live from the Box Studios in beautiful New York
very
City.
Strange.
It's
oh, this is what
nose.
it was. Okay, now
and
it makes sense.
To answer your questions.
Oh, yeah.
Get out of your seats and on your feet because here he is, Ariel Helwani.
Here I am. Once again, I'm torn into pieces. Let me just alert the masses here. New York Rick is New York Rick joining us today? I'm not sure. I don't know if you saw this, GC, but Paulo Costa, not to be confused with Bohashinia Depot, the actual Bohashinia we've been tweeting throughout your segment.
You and him back and forth.
Yes. He tweeted, he responded to the video of Alex Pejeda saying, this guy speak for 3 minutes for 20 seconds of translate, LOL. So I wrote back, hi. And then he wrote back, bonjour, homie.
Yeah, I'm seeing it now with the unicorn emoji.
Yeah. Is it really him?
Yes.
All right. Let's answer some questions, shall we? We've got a lot of questions here. Moderator Lewis has done a fantastic job of... and by the way, I feel a little guilty. I mean, I feel like for my birthday, we had the hats, we had the this, we had the that. Did I drop the ball? Should I have had something for you? What do you think? Should I have brought the same hat back? My daughter really likes the hat, by the way, the little party hat.
Yeah, I have mine right here. I thought we were going to do it together, but obviously it's my birthday, so I was going to wait for you to initiate it.
I dropped the ball. Fair enough.
Whatever.
That's my bad. I do have some extra prime here for you, courtesy of Logan.
All is forgiven.
You got to drink it like this. All right. Yitzi is up first. Shalom, Ariel. Amazing interview with Nate yesterday. Thank you. When he said all he wants is to be free, it got me thinking about how the UFC is allowed to pay their fighters as independent contractors, 1099, and not as a W-2 employee. An independent contractor, by definition, is free. I am not an employment or labor attorney, but it is common knowledge that an independent contractor has to have the ability to work for whomever they want and on their own timeline. When the UFC requires fighters to sign an exclusive contract with them and controls when they can work, I would think that would invalidate them from paying fighters as independent contractors. Has the UFC ever been challenged on this? Do they have a special exemption? Would appreciate if you have any insight into this. Thanks so much and have a great day, Yitzi. Yes, in fact, they have, and they continue to do so. I don't know if you know this, but there's a class action lawsuit which pertains to this very subject. The UFC has spent a lot of money in DC to lobby against any type of bill that would open the door for the fighters to be reclassified as employees as opposed to independent contractors. Shout out to, I just saw this, Tim, Timespyre. Tim, well, his name is Tim, but it seems like Timespyre or Tim Spire or Tom Espire, Timespyre, writer for Bloody Elbow, who actually just did a story that came out yesterday, pretty deep dive into the amount of money that the UFC spends to lobby against this exact bill that would reclassify the fighters from independent contractor to employee. I've said this time and again, they are not independent contractors. An independent contractor is someone, essentially, if we boil it down, if I call a plumber to come to my house, you will be there at 12 o'clock to fix my sink. I cannot tell you what to wear. I cannot tell you where to be next. I cannot tell you what to do. I cannot lock you into a contract. He is an independent contractor that I hire to perform a service, and then once that service is completed, he's free to do whatever he wants. As we all know, UFC fighters cannot do this. And the UFC fights and spends a lot of money to stop this from being reclassified or redefined, as they say. Because if they were deemed employees, everything would change. The benefits would change. The rights would change, all that and more. They want them to remain as independent contractors. No one has really challenged them on this. Like I said, there is the lawsuit. There have been people who have pushed, poked, prodded, etc., but nowhere to the point where it became close. When they started or tried to do that PFA organization back in 2016, I remember Jeff Boris would talk about this a lot, former MLB agent, but nothing really came of it. So yes, an independent contractor would be someone who can fight here and fight there. You can make the case that boxers are a lot more independent contractors as opposed to MMA fighters. Can an MMA fighter go box? No. Can a UFC fighter? Can a UFC fighter go and take a kickboxing match just because he wants to? No. Can he do WWE just because he wants to? No. They're told what to wear. They're told where to be. They have to sign in 365. They have to tell them in USADA where they are 365. In fact, they are actually treated more as employees than the actual UFC employees who are not drug tested 365, who do not have to update their whereabouts on an app 365. And they're the employees who get the benefits. UFC fighters don't get the benefits. Don't get me started. Chris, first question ever after watching for what I feel like over a decade, my guy. Respect. Ariel, my question is, which two fighters would make a great case to go on a 7-game fight series like in baseball? Max versus Volk, Usman versus Colby are the easy suggestions because they are the cream of the crop. Macho voice. Oh, yeah. That. And try to choose two fighters who never fought each other that you believe would go 7 fights deep. Promotion doesn't matter. What you got, GC, what are the odds? I don't know if I want to see Volk and Max fight again anymore. Like, do I want to see? I mean, I guess one more time and Volk gets the sweep. I don't know if I want to see that. Jones DC is one that I would love to see. Usman Colby's not a bad one. McGregor Diaz would be tremendous. Jan Sterling, that would be a fun one. Rose Carla? Maybe not. Maybe? Maybe not. Those are some that come to mind. Close fights. Very close fights. I don't know if I want to see Alex and Max fight again. Trying to see who's the cream of the crop right now. Figueiredo Moreno, of course. That's the obvious one. Max83, hello, Ariel. With all respects, or with all aspects, I should say, we learned in the last couple of months, and regarding the Nate Diaz situation, I was wondering if it would be a good idea if the UFC or other promotions would learn something from the world of football, soccer over there. I think it would be a great idea to implement release clauses just like in football. So maybe Nate has one fight left and the release clause for such a big name is maybe $5 million. And whoever is willing to pay that can sign him, for example, Bellator or the Jake Paul promotion. What do you think of this idea? Greetings, my man. Yeah, it would be great. I mean, I can't imagine. Listen, I cannot imagine living in a world, working in a field where I just can't go out at some point and be free. I'll tell you, like towards the end of my last job, I was feeling a certain way, and I looked forward to seeing what was out there. Right? We all deserve that. Whether you're a contractor, a 1099, a W-2, someone who's an employee, like you always in life, you should be allowed to go and see what else is out there. This guy has been sidelined. This guy should have had his last fight in 2021, end of the year. He fought in June. He could have fought by December, whatever the case may be. And they knew he was not going to accept the Khamzat fight initially, so that extended the contract. And then it's just been this game for almost a year. Sorry, over a year. 13 months. So yeah, you want to put in a clause like this? Great. We always talk about it, and Dana White talks about it. It's not a career, it's an opportunity, right? It's a short window. And here's a guy in his 30s just seeing the prime of his career just, what? Getting frozen like Elsa? Going down the drain? It's crazy. Hey, Ariel, thoughts on Dana handing $250K to the Nelk Boys from Hugo? Touched on this a little bit with GC. I mean, obviously the optics are weird. And I do believe this man is allowed to do whatever he wants. This man is allowed to pay for whatever he wants. He is a successful man. He has earned his money. It was not handed to him. He fought tooth and nail. Don't mistake for a second. Like, Dana White has put in the time. This guy has earned his money. Whether it was the Fertittas who were the front man, the money, the brains, the guy traveled the world. He did his thing. My thoughts on him as a current promoter now, and just kind of like phoning it in, mailing in, I still can't believe he didn't go to 276, are irrelevant. He has earned every penny. And he can do whatever he wants. He could buy 8 houses. He can buy snow here. He can buy cars. He could buy helicopters. So it's all well and good. Now, if you're a fighter who works for him, who feels like you aren't getting paid what you are due, owed, whatever, and you see that and you feel a certain way, I don't begrudge you as well. You're the one getting punched in the face. But this is his own personal money. It's not the UFC's money. The UFC isn't paying the Nelk Boys. At least we don't think so. Although they're now like supporting their new MMA media outlet thingy, whatever. So I'm sure there's, some tit for tat and all of that. Nothing is without strings attached. The optics are just weird. It's just weird. Like, first of all, I can assure you this. When I'm 50-something years old, I ain't going to be hanging out with no frat boys. And I ain't paying them $250 for their birthday. I ain't giving them that for their birthday. What? That's just weird. Like, the whole thing was weird. I'm sorry. It just looked Is it wrong if I say, GC, is it wrong if I say that was just creepy? Is that wrong? Is that too harsh?
Nah.
It was weird.
I feel like that's pretty accurate.
It was like
it was an odd thing to do.
It's like if I give my son a new PlayStation and I'm excited to give it to him and I'm waiting for him to open it up on his birthday, that's how I would look, right? Like, that was the look of anticipation. Like, you can't wait for the reaction. He's like clearing out the table, this and that, like, oh, let's, and then it's just like this bag with money in it. Like, that's just weird behavior. I'm sorry. That is weird behavior. Friends, no friends, 25 years older, whatever. Like, I barely want to hang out with, people who are 35, let alone 25. You think I'm getting, what the heck? It's just weird behavior. And what did they think the response would be? All this talk about fighter pay. Number one, they may not have even thought about it because they're so far removed from reality at this point. They may not even thought of it. They may be so disconnected from reality that they may not even thought that the optics would be bad. Hey, let's keep this internal. Let's keep this private. Let's not make a show of it. Let's not post the video, this, that. That would have been probably the right thing to do. But again, present, own money, you can do whatever you want. How did they, if they thought about the reaction, if they thought about what fighters might say or react or, whatever feels, or how did they think they would react? Now more than ever, fighter pay has been an issue. Now more than ever. What did they think? So, I don't know. They probably don't care. Let's be honest. Haven't cared for a while, but just, the whole thing just felt weird to me. It felt weird. Off. Creepy. Patrick. Can I just say one last thing? And this might be, it just felt like an older guy trying to be cool in front of younger guys. Like, is that the most clear way that I could put this? I just don't get it. Like, are they actually friends? Are they actually hanging out? Weird. I've spent too much time on this. Patrick, favorite segment of the week. 2 quick questions. Ariel, who gets recognized more at UFC Long Island? Ooh, it's a great question. New York Rick or GC, and who gets more picture requests? GC, what merch are you on the lookout for this weekend? And can we expect you to wear said merch on Monday's show? P.S. If Chris Curtis does have Darren Till in his corner in London and doesn't come out this week, Caroline, we riot. Now, Lewis has actually added like a footnote to this. Related to this, he says, another question asked is if there's any organized way of meeting GC and your Rick this weekend. Interesting. And then he points to the message, which said, from 10th Island, big fan of the show. One quick question. I'll be attending my first live UFC event this Saturday at Long Island. I'm looking forward to all the fights, but nothing excites me more than the true main attraction. So my question is, how can I meet the 2 legends in attendance on the 16th, aka sports betting legend Connor Burks and the social media sensation New York Rick? You better stay hydrated. Wow, this is a lot here to handle. The floor is yours, GC.
I mean, unbelievable message there.
Yeah.
Rick is definitely going to get recognized more. He will definitely get more picture requests.
You think so?
Yes.
Been around longer.
Oh, for sure.
But you're on a crazy babyface run right now.
Nah. I mean, if you want to come say what's up, I'll tweet a picture of where I'm sitting, and I'll say the actual section. Off the top of my head, I want to say it's section 306. Yeah, come say what's good. You don't have to do anything. You just that's it. It's
306.
Yeah, I'm up top. I'm with the people.
I like
on this one. I'm not on Media Row like Rick will be, so we won't be together. I tried to say, let's link up in the stadium. He's like, nope. You'll have to wait till after to hang out with me. I was like,
wow.
Merch-wise, poster for sure.
Whoa. Wow. What is happening here? Is that you?
This is the slander. I have all this talk about me when I'm not there. I mean, I'm a little bit offended and hurt.
Wait a second.
This is the new microphone, Rick.
This is you never sound better.
Oh, I'm in my car. Phone.
It's great. What are you using? That Bluetooth?
Yes, connected to my.
Couldn't even do the
car.
AirPods. I mean, at least the AirPods a little bit of a crisper feel.
No, the AirPods you always tell me sound bad. You know what? I'm not doing this with you. I'm hanging up. I'm not doing this.
Wait, but did you not read?
I screamed through the audience.
Did you not hear what this gentleman just said? He said he would love nothing more than to meet the social media sensation.
Yeah, I would love that too. But then Connor's burying me over here talking about I big timed them and I'm trying to work and he's trying to hang out and party. I mean, I came on just in time to hear all this.
Are those statements incorrect, Eric?
I mean, I've got things to do, Connor. What do you want me to do? Just
he's not denying
leave my responsibilities behind?
No, he does have a point.
Okay, so well, let's ask you since I didn't even realize you were on. And by the way, the lower third graphic for you is just tremendous. Are you doing any meetups? Yes.
Is it me as a youngster again?
Yes, it is you as a youngster again. Any meetups, any meet and greets, any tete-a-tetes, any, autograph signings, anything?
What are you talking about? You're asking me if I'm doing these?
Yes. This is what the guy I just asked. He wants to know if he can meet you. Two people, Patrick McCrite and 10th Island. They both want to know if they can meet you.
Yeah, of course. They just have to DM me. Let's do it. I'll meet anybody. I don't care.
Patrick also asked who is getting more picture requests, you or GC?
GC for sure. Babyface right now.
Babyface run. Yeah.
I think GC's the best up and comer in MMA right now.
Who's a bigger babyface right now? GC or Ben the Bane Davis?
Bane. Is that a question?
Oh,
I mean,
that's a tough one.
I tweeted about Ben,
say GC.
And it was a pop, to end all pops. Yeah, I couldn't believe the love that this guy got.
If this guy Bane was going to Long Island, he would need security.
Wow.
Yeah, he's big time.
Okay. By the way, New York Rick, while we have you here, you were just at the media day?
I was, yes.
Any breaking news, anything to report back? Give us a rundown. I mean, of course, everyone was watching this show, so they were not tuned in. Is there anything that we need to know about today's media day? And where was it? Was it at the UBS?
No, it was at the Long Island Marriott.
Okay.
I think Uniondale was the town. Not near the UBS. No breaking news, but it was the fighters in the main and co-main seemed confident going into it. I would say Ortega held court, definitely the longest. Reflected on the Volkanovski fight, talked about focusing in on his BJJ, and feeling like after that fight, he kind of went away from his bread and butter, and now he's back training that properly. Yair seemed confident, ready to fight. As he said on the show, anywhere is a good place to die.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good time, and I'm expecting at least those top two fights for sure to be good. Good stuff from Burgos and Jourdain. I'm expecting that one to be great. So yeah, all in all, good media day.
Two follow-ups for me. Number one, did he reuse the dying line, or did he keep it exclusive to us?
He did not. That was exclusive.
I appreciate that. And number two, please tell me Jack Shore wasn't there, because that would just fit the narrative even more.
Jack Shore was not there. It
Oh
was
my
only,
God.
the card fighters. It
Disrespect.
was only the main card fighters.
Jack Shore. Was he 16 and 0? Can't even make it to the media day? Are you kidding me? You know what? That's actually my bad. I should have had Jack Shore on the show.
Yes.
I thought
I was literally about to ask for where's Jack Shore on the show today. Then, if we're doing this.
Well, honestly, I thought that they usually have the media day during the show.
Yeah. It was a little bit weird. I would have expected him to be there, but it was only the main card fighters.
Wow. All right. Anything else to report?
No, just looking forward to a tremendous time out on Long Island. Going to be working, as you understand, and GC going to be up in the stands enjoying himself and shaming me for doing my job, and it'll all be nice.
Yo, your boy Dustin Jacoby officially plus money on DraftKings Sportsbook.
I mean, hand it over. That's easy money right there.
We ride together, baby.
We ride as one.
We ride.
Okay, well, you sticking around or you just popped in?
No, just a little Wednesday treat, and then I pop back out. But yeah, anybody who's going to be on Long Island, looking to meet New York Rick, GC, whatever, I'm there. Just shoot me a message, and I'd be happy to.
Wow, what a mensch.
Ariel's distracted with something.
Yes.
As you just poured your heart out to the audience.
No, it's within good reason. It's with good reason, I should say. All right, we continue now with the questions. El Cubano, hola Ariel. Flying under the radar this weekend is a flyweight matchup between Lauren Murphy and Miesha Tate. I don't know if it's flying under the radar, to be honest. Now, I can see how a win for Cupcake can propel her right into a title shot with the Queen, Valentina Shevchenko. What would the future look like for Miesha if she were to lose this weekend? Viva Helwani. Not a bad question. I mean, it'll be her first. Look, you move down to 25, you cut all that weight, you lose the weight, it doesn't go your way. I don't think it's a huge deal. I don't think it's a huge deal. You know, she'll say, the weight cut wasn't great. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. I should have done this. I should have done that. I should have zigged when I zagged. Then she goes back to 35. It's no harm, no foul. So I don't think it's a horrible thing. Like, I'm not expecting her to retire or anything like that. Liam, hi, Ariel. Greetings from the sunny southwest of England. I wanted to ask your thoughts on the Tiger Muay Thai training facility in Thailand, as I've noticed that several of the sport's elite strikers have passed through their doors, yet they never seem to get mentioned. Their patrons have included Alexander Volkanovski, Rafael Fiziev, Valentina Shevchenko, Peter Yan, Kai Kara-France. Even Khamzat was there earlier this year. It occurs to me that these are all wildly successful fighters from diverse training camps, with Tiger Muay Thai at the center of their collective Venn diagram. Do you think this Muay Thai outpost plays a bigger role in MMA success than most are reporting? Yeah. Also, Lewis represents Southwest is also where I call home. Where southwest of England. What is the southwest of England? I don't even know what that consists of. 1 second, I'm just... Do you know what I was trying to do right there, GC? What is your best guess as to what I was just trying to do?
On your phone?
Yeah, like why I was a bit distracted.
I actually have no idea.
Oh, I was trying to get Jack to pop in.
That would have been great.
Yeah, I forgot to tell him. But he said he can't do it. Anyway.
Monday, in studio after he wins.
Let's go. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot they're in New York. It doesn't even feel like they're in New York because it's so far away. I invited DC to come in studio, but we all know how that goes. Anyway, Tiger Muay Thai is killing it. That's why I was trying to give a shout out to Sayat and Danny Rubenstein. I mentioned that Rafael Fiziev was going to be on the show. He has to have no surgery. That's why he's not on the show. I reported it yesterday. So we wish him a speedy recovery. Much love to those guys. But yeah, they're killing it out there. And they have for a long time. Matt Mo. Hey, Ariel, yesterday NASA released the first 4 images from the James Webb Space Telescope, the most powerful telescope ever built. The images were quite spectacular. They were the highest definition images of our universe ever taken in history. Yes, I saw them. They were tremendous. My question is, did you get a chance to see the images? Which one out of the 4 was your favorite, and what did you think? Get GC and DJ Frankie Frank on this as well. I heard GC loved Interstellar. Ariel, I can't believe you haven't seen it. Watch it tonight with the wife. It's on Amazon Prime. Take care and Godspeed. Lewis, ever the mensch, even included a link to said photos. Are you aware of this, GC, all this talk about the photos, the space, all that?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Really puts it in perspective.
Yeah, it almost feels fake, right?
Yeah. It literally is unbelievable. Interstellar, though, don't even waste your money on Amazon Prime. I'll bring you the Blu-ray. You can pop it in next week.
I don't have a Blu-ray player. What do you think?
All right, I'll bring my Xbox. You can borrow that too. The disc will already be inside it.
Now, our good friend No Context Ariel had a great photo of the James Webb and then the Diaz family, saying like that it was 2 amazing photos taken on the same day. He said it, not me. Killian, Ariel, after the Fiziev Connor Twitter exchange last week, I got into a debate with a friend over who would be the betting favorite in that fight. I think Fiziev would almost certainly be the betting favorite, but it got me thinking, who is the highest ranked lightweight that you believe Connor would be the betting favorite against? Would love GC's take as well, of course. Appreciate you and the whole team as always. And hashtag free Nate Diaz. I think Connor would be the favorite in that fight. Don't you think?
We talked about this on Monday after the show.
Did we actually talk about this?
Yeah.
That he would be the... Well, yeah.
I thought he would be the underdog against everyone ranked. Even Demir's Magulov. I was like, no way.
Well,
no way.
Tony Ferguson, I think he'd be the favorite against.
Yes.
Ferguson dropped down to 11. Fiziev's now 7, by the way.
I don't know.
Wait, what don't you know about?
I don't know who would be the favorite in that one, but I feel like because of all the public money that would come in on Conor McGregor, he might close as like...
Would he be the favorite against Charles?
Oliveira? No way. No, I do not think so.
Would he be the favorite against Dustin?
No.
Would he be the favorite against Justin?
I don't think so.
Islam?
No shot.
Chandler?
I feel like that one you're getting closer to even.
Beneil?
I think he would probably...
I think once you get to Fiziev, RDA,
you also have to remember, like the Poirier 3, it was like even money, and I just felt like that was the biggest trap on earth to play Conor McGregor in that fight.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like almost feel like Charles against Conor McGregor would be like a minus 300. Maybe Beneil.
Wow.
Maybe Beneil.
Interesting
question though.
Interesting question. Lewis, my man, good afternoon, Ariel. Yesterday seemed like a fulfilling day for you professionally. Can you share with us just how long a good day at work will carry with you? Once the cameras and mics are off, how far do you ride that crest of wave home? For hours, days? Does Jacqueline or the family make any comments about how you appear, a smile, or a zing in your step? And on the flip side, when things don't go as envisioned, or you feel unsatisfied from a work day, how long does that sit with you? Much love, Lewis. Great question, always very thoughtful. I will say, unfortunately, the bad days linger longer than the good days. It should be the opposite, but this is just the way I am. And I'll harp on them, and I'll harp on them, and I'll harp on them. And the good days, this is the way I am. Like, the first thought that I had after the Diaz thing was, thankfully, that happened. It was great. It was fun. Thankful, grateful. How do we top this? Like, within 30 seconds, I'm thinking, all right, what do I do now? And who's booked for tomorrow? And are they all, like, I don't allow myself. I will say I went from the Showtime thing to this show to one other thing, which I'll tell you more about after today's show. And then I got in my car and then I sat there for like 30 minutes and I think I was like emotionally exhausted. Then I had to drive home. But it was hard to go to sleep. Like I got home at 11 and then I had dinner and then I just sat there and just tried to revel in it and feel good about what like could have shaped up. Like I think I was talking to Brian about this before the show. Like this could be a great day. Like this could be an all-timer. I think I might have even tweeted this. This could be an all-timer or it could have turned into a disaster. Luckily it did not. And just one of those days, like top 5 most amazing days of my career, if only because I was doing so many different things and it was special and it could have gone wrong, but it didn't. So yeah, I feel like I'm on a high right now. You know what I feel like right now when I came into the show today, the studio today? Because I was just watching the Chris Eubank interview from Mayweather McGregor when we were there, and he started reciting Invictus to us. And I was on no sleep at that point because the night before we stayed up till 5 a.m. at Floyd's place to get the interview with him, and then we had to go do the beat. I mean, I was on no sleep. And I felt like I was lightheaded, and I felt like I was having, I mean, here he is, Chris Eubank, reciting Invictus to me just off the top of his head, and I felt like I was having an out-of-body experience. And it wasn't quite that, but I was just like going off adrenaline, and I felt like that. Because, I mean, we were here less than 24 hours ago, and it was a really big show for us, and I felt like I was going off adrenaline. So, yeah, feel good, but the beauty of being busy and all that, like you can't really sit around and smell the flowers, and I don't really want to. I want to keep going and feel very motivated. I don't know why I have such a chip on my shoulder, but I do. I really do. That's the truth. But it was a great day. It really was, and a day I don't think that I'll forget. And I hope that you all appreciate, the fact that we can all go on this ride together. And I hope you feel like my victories are your victories, because I do feel that way. That's not just something that I say. As far as my kids, I mean, 2 of my kids are not here. They're at summer camp, so they have no idea what's going on. My daughter has no idea. She woke me up asking me to help her with this new toy that she got. And Jacqueline made me dinner, so that was nice when I got home. Charlie, hey Ariel, haven't commented for a while, but always tuning in from London. Thank you, my friend. I feel there are less and less big fights versus 5, 10, 15 years ago. Many pay-per-view cards don't get my juices flowing like they used to. Example, 277, although I love the Rock Cold Costa fight on 278. Do you share my sentiment that pay-per-view cards aren't what they used to be? And do you also watch less fights, or are you still watching most cards top to bottom? Well, it is my job, but I will tell you, I do kind of laugh when I hear people say, like, most stacked pay-per-view card. Yo, go back and look at the pay-per-view cards from 2007, 2008. Maybe the names don't resonate, but if you actually look at who they were and understand who they were, those were deep cards, top to bottom. Those were deep cards. Now, if we get 5 good fights on the pay-per-view and maybe 1 good prelim, we're all happy and saying, this is the best card of the year, and it's never been this stacked, blah, 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 blah. It's no. I mean, they were doing less shows. They were doing 12 shows as opposed to 43 shows. I mean, you would never have main events like we had now 10 years ago. So yes, I understand and agree with what you're saying, but it's still my job to watch and know what's going on. So he says, if you agree, which of these reasons do you give most weight to? There are too many fight nights. Yeah, too many shows, watered down product. The UFC is not trying to create stars that may rock the boat in the future while making it about the brand. There's some of that going on, but I don't think that's the main one. They don't need pay-per-view sales like they used to based on their ESPN deal. Yeah, there's less incentive. There's less pressure. The pressure now is on ESPN that paid to have those pay-per-views exclusively on Plus. So there's a lot going on here. The brand is hot. The brand is on fire. The pay-per-views are bought and sold for. You don't have as much incentive to go and say, John Jones, we need to figure this out right now. We need to make a deal right now. Nate Diaz, we need to figure out how to keep you. They're killing it. They're swimming in the dough. But yes, part of the thing is like they sold this menu, and ESPN is happy with it because they've got ESPN Plus, and it's great programming for them, and people are signing up for it because of them. The UFC is anchoring that. Especially once Ariel and the Bad Guy No More, we built that platform, hands, shoulders, you know the drill. They are very happy to have these cards, even if they may be, quote unquote, not up to snuff, if you will. So there's a lot going on. Carmelo, as a father, how do you teach your kids to deal with physical conflict? I'm personally in the team of if someone is bullying you, use your words first, and if they don't respect you, game on. I have 2 boys, and I've dealt with some situations recently that have made me really think. My wife is more on the team of never respond with physical force, but I don't really like that. However, don't want my kids to somehow become bullies either. So great question, Carmelo. Thank God I've never been really faced with this predicament. I do tell my kids, and I would have told my kids if they bring this to me, obviously, like, being physical is the last resort. You want to try to figure things out. You want to try to get away from someone younger. You tell someone. But I have told them 100%, like, you don't let anyone push you around. If someone is pushing you, like, you stand your ground. And if it means, getting them dukes up, you get them dukes up. But that's obviously the last resort. You don't want to actually, go around beating people up. So yes, use the words, be smart. Don't go straight for the fight, but don't be a pushover as well. Very important. Taco Enthusiast. Hi, Ariel. The UFC has been lobbying hard to prevent additional votes on the right to organize bill, HR 842 and S420. Do you think the UFC sees the bill as a legitimate threat to its control over fighters? Yes, this is what I was talking about earlier. And also, they've been doing this for quite some time. Also, why are more people not talking about this? UFC is publicly lobbying and throwing money to kill a bill that would give its fighters the right to be treated fairly. Saludos. They've been doing this for... this dates back to not getting into New York. Unite Here, the culinary union. Go back and look at those stories from 8 years ago or so. Sheldon Silver. This has been going on for ages. This is from Lewis Bloody Elbow article. He quotes Tim Bissell. To date, the UFC has disclosed $240,000 worth of spending on the Right to Organize Act of 2021. More info on the bill. Among the specific details in these bills are revisions of the official definition of employee, supervisor, and employer. The bills seek to broaden the scopes of these terms. This is more from his reporting, which I suggest you check out over at bloodyelbow.com. This would involve adding the following amendments to the National Labor Relations Act. Quote, an individual performing any service shall be considered an employee except as provided in the previous sentence and not an independent contractor unless the individual is free from control and direction in connection with the performance of the service, both under the contract for the performance of service and in fact, B, the service is performed outside the usual course of the business of the employer, and C, the individual is customarily engaged in an independently established trade, occupation, profession, or business in the same nature as that involved in the service performed. End quote. Yes, it's been happening for quite some time. They do not want this to happen. And for the reasons I mentioned earlier, it would just change the way they do business and change the way they have to treat the fighters. Abe, hello, Ariel. Is there anyone in MMA with a tougher schedule or resume than RDA, Khabib, Ferguson, Edwards, Usman, Colby, either in there or on the rise when everyone else avoided them? Couldn't agree more. Doesn't get enough respect for that. The guy never turns down a fight and is always willing to fight the dudes who no one else wants to fight. Islam as well. Didn't come to fruition, but he was down to fight him. Add to that Lawler, Diaz, Cowboy, Eddie, Pettis, Benson, Fiziev. The list goes on. Who else springs to mind in terms of... he's the guy. He really is the guy. Nate has fought a lot of tough dudes, but RDA is just consistently... Here's the thing. There's a lot of guys who fight the tough guys, and Cerrone as well. But they have the popularity and the fan base. RDA doesn't have that, but has fought everyone. That's why, in my opinion, Hall of Famer. Harry, hey Ariel, as a germaphobe, how uncomfortable did you secretly feel being so close during your face-off with Andrew Schultz? You're crazy. What are you talking? My dad is exactly the same as you, so we all laugh when he gets put in spots where he has to embrace people when we all know he's dying inside. Couldn't help but feel the same way about you on Monday. Keep killing it, Helwani. No, it was fine. Look, I hope that everyone's healthy, safe. He's very close to the man. But one thing that I didn't want early on in the pandemic, I think we were all taking it very seriously. I was wiping down the groceries. I didn't go anywhere for a while, but I also didn't want this to consume me. So I made an effort to try to go out. We joked about it on DC and Helwani, and people actually thought that I was being 100% serious. But I did go out. I did do this and that because I knew because of my neuroses and because I was a germaphobe, because I was OCD about all of this, it could consume me. Howard Stern still hasn't left his house. Howard Stern is still broadcasting from his home in Florida. I couldn't do that. I'm here. I've been here since August of last year. We have in-studio guests. I'm going on trips. I'm interviewing people. I'm here, so you got to get over some of that. One thing I will say, though, I wish we can transition away from the handshake and just go to the bow. To me, the bow is a lot more respectful, inviting. I just feel like the bow, what's a better compliment than bowing to someone, towards someone, with all due respect, Thank you for your time. Thank you so much. So great to see you. Much love to you and your family. As opposed to a handshake. The reason why the handshake was established was back in the day in the Western world. Here I am playing, Mr. Know-It-All. They would shake hands in order to see if there was any like weapon there, like long sleeve weapons. You go like this and then you shake hands. All right, we're good. Shut up. All right, no one's got weapons here. All right, no one's walking around. You see us. Bow. Oh, hello, sir. How are you? What's better than that? I was hoping that if there would be one byproduct that we can live with post-pandemic, it would be no handshake, just bow. But it seems as though no one's really jumping on this train. Ariel Helwani. Hello, Ariel. Shalom from Toronto, Canada, the 6th. You interviewed many big names in MMA, sports entertainment, and even a former president of the United States of America. Are there any people that you never interviewed before that you wish you interview in the future? Yeah. I mean, Howard Stern. I'd love to interview Howard Stern. There's a ton. There's a ton of people. I want to keep, broadening my horizons, and I'd love to talk to. I enjoy speaking to a comedian. I don't want to just speak to athletes. Look, I'll be honest. Like I want to be remembered as the greatest interviewer of all time. Is this going to happen? Meh. Probably not, but why can't I shoot for something? And the way people talk about the great interviews, at one point, I want to be considered. Is this going to happen? Here I am in MMA, slowly but surely, doing other stuff. But this is what I love. This is what I have the most passion for. I adore interviewing people. And so this is what I'm shooting for. And, you got to shoot for something. Shoot for the moon, land among the stars. So yes, there's a lot of people. I mean, a ton. I could sit here and name one. Would I like to interview this person, this actor, this author, this politician? And the thing about me is, I don't have a bias. I don't care who you are, where you're from. Even if we agree, even if you tell me that you hate me or Jewish people or Canadians or what, I don't care. As long as we can have a cordial, civil conversation, I'm in. P.S., he says, I wanted to tell you that you have a very relaxing voice. Wow, thank you. Sometimes when I find it difficult to fall asleep, I would play an episode of the MMA Hour, even an older episode that I already listened to, and it works like magic. Wow. Is that a compliment? I guess. Or maybe I'm just so boring, I put you to sleep. It relaxes me, he says, and it helps me fall asleep. You're welcome. I appreciate that. It's a great compliment when people say, oh, I listened to you to forget things. Someone sent me a tweet that was so nice. Sam is a teacher. I'm going to get really, really sappy for a second, he wrote. When I was a freshman in college, I used to listen to your fan house show while loading envelopes at my student job at admissions. I've graduated, spent 5 years as a teacher, gone back to admissions, and left again for greener pastures. Your voice on a nearly weekly basis has been a constant. It's been absolutely amazing to watch you grow, evolve, and become a rock star of the game. Thanks for all you do. Thanks for showing that seeking the best for yourself isn't selfish and that it's okay to try something new. I mean, what a comment that is. You're doing your job, you're passing time. You're a UPS driver, you're, a mailman, and you're listening to us. What an honor. Hands on. Hi, Ariel. Dustin Poirier was on DC and RC yesterday and stated he has some things in the works regarding a fight. Also, he commented that he's heading down to ATT and plans to stay there until he fights. Any word on who and when? Yeah, honestly, let me tell you something about the Nate interview yesterday. I had no idea what he was going to say. I didn't know if he was going to come on and say that he wants to fight Dustin, that he's resigned, that he wants to fight Chandler, that he wants to fight Tony. I had no idea. I didn't know if he was going to say he wants to be released, if he's done. No idea. But I can tell you this. Part of the deal, if he resigns, is to fight a Dustin. And obviously we know that Dustin wanted that fight. And I had heard that they're pretty damn close. If you go back to that Dave Chappelle special that he referenced, I think a lot of the feelings and thoughts that he has right now were unearthed after watching that special. Dave Chappelle's story, the money that he got from Comedy Central or offered, walked away, thought people thought it was the dumbest decision. Why would you do that? Walk away, leave it all at the table. I think that opened Nate's eyes. So if the Nate fight isn't going to happen, I'd love to see Dustin versus Chandler. I mean, that to me is the no-brainer of all no-brainers. From your interview with Nathan yesterday, it doesn't seem like a Diaz-Poirier fight is in the works anytime soon. Any chance of another high-profile fight on the 278 pay-per-view? I mean, it's in a little over a month, so I don't know about that. A lot of shows. You add that extra pay-per-view in July, it makes the next one a little bit bare, right? Great work on the press conference yesterday. Hope to see more things like that in the future. Thank you. We were up there. We were doing our thing. The more we get comfortable, the more support. Crack a joke here or there. Get people excited. You get up there. You do your thing. Like, oh, how could you? Oh, you're promoting Jake Paul. Oh, yeah. I mean, we got Hasim in the house. We've got freaking Amanda Serrano in the house. We've got legends like Thomas Hauser there, legendary boxing journalist. Just tremendous. Jack Walter. Great last name. Ariel, my man, just wondering, any word on who's fighting at MSG this year and what their plans are with that? Also, what happened to 2 Cent Tuesday? Well, MSG is in November. It's a little far. Jones Stipe, maybe. The point is, there's no talks. I've heard nothing at the moment. So stay tuned. We're still talking about the September pay-per-view, for goodness sake. 2 Cent Tuesday, I wrote about this, bit of a hiatus until the fall. A lot going on. More on that later. Rami, hello. That suit yesterday was fire, Rami says. Wow, as you do more of these boxing press conferences, I don't know how many more I'm doing, but, nice to be asked. I've only done one. Actually, I did 2. I did the Darren Williams one, and Frank Gore. And post-fight interviews. How do you navigate being unique while still respecting the history of boxing? Oof, that is a great question. Actually, this is a very pertinent question because there's something that I'm mulling over. I think it's very important to respect the history of boxing, respect the sport, respect how dangerous it is, how, this is life and death stuff, whether you don't play boxing, as the famous line goes. And so I don't want to be viewed as like sideshow guy. I don't want to be viewed as influencer guy. And I don't, and the reason why I'm comfortable doing the stuff that I'm asked to do for these fights is because I do believe that Jake takes it very seriously and really cares about being the best boxer that he can be and has a great team behind him, great trainers, etc. So I try to be me. I've always, I think, been somewhat non-conventional, but I respect the fight game way too much. Like, I don't take myself seriously, and I don't think I'm above anything per se. I like pro wrestling. People don't like that I like pro wrestling or talk about pro wrestling and talk about, I don't care. I like shows and showmans and showmanship and hoopla and buzz and all this stuff. I love it. So I don't take myself too seriously, but there is a line, right? I mean, I will tell you, can I tell you? I don't know. People reach out. I've turned down a lot of things and asked me to be a part of a lot of things. And maybe this stuff is open door. And there's something going on very soon that I was asked about and I respectfully declined without getting into too many details. So, yeah, I mean, I'm a Canelo Triple G type of guy, if you get what I'm saying. And I know that there's probably some people who are like, oh, you don't know shit about boxing. Yo, let me tell you something. Just because I'm the MMA guy doesn't mean that I don't know anything about the NBA either. Because let me tell you, when they put me out there on the sidelines, I look like I knew a thing or two, right? I've devoted my life to MMA, and this is the sport, and you have to pick a lane. And I believe being someone who is an authority on one sport is better for you than being just sort of like a jack of all trades. Now, that could work from the creme de la creme, the 1%, the top dogs, the Stephen A's of the world. But for me in my career, I thought this was the way to go. Doesn't mean that I have no other interests or that I don't know about other things. Again, as I said, I grew up in a great fight town. I grew up in a town that had many great homegrown stars, boxing stars, and I went to some of these events. I went to these fights. I've been to a bunch of them. In Montreal, I've been to fights in New York. I've been to MSG. I went to Yuri Foreman fighting at Yankee Stadium against Miguel Cotto. I applied to be an intern at HBO because they were the home of boxing. Like, I adore boxing. I don't need to prove, by the way, my knowledge, my fandom, my interest to anybody. You like me, you don't like me, you want me to hang around, you don't want me to hang around. I don't care, but I've always loved it. And I will say that I do think there is an opening right now to do a lot of great things. And as I've been saying multiple times on this show and other places, I don't think there's enough people covering it the right way. And I also said that I think boxing is on fire. Better than MMA, worse than MMA. I don't give a crap about any of that. Almost every weekend, there's an interesting boxing match going on. There's an interesting event going on, whether it's on DAZN, whether it's on Showtime, whether it's PBC, whether it's any ESPN Plus, ESPN. I wish it was back on HBO, not on HBO. So I just, same mindset, same mentality that I've had in MMA. Hey, I was down with CM Punk fighting in the UFC. Right fight, so you can't worry too much about what the quote-unquote naysayers are going to say. Michael, hello, Ariel. Question for me is, are MMA fans failing to differentiate who has a bad chin and who has bad striking defense? In my opinion, guys like Rockhold, Garbrandt, Chandler, guys who fans are quick to say have suspect chins. Chandler, suspect chin? I don't know. All right, fair. I don't know if I put them, whatever. Just have bad striking defense at times, which is true. It's guys like Overeem, Arlovsky who have bad chin. By the way, Arlovsky's chin, I don't know what's happened to it, if he put in a steel plate or something, but hasn't been too bad. I've had bad chin since day one, it seems. I just feel like fans kind of jump the gun on who has a bad chin and who doesn't. Would love to hear your thoughts. It's hard to truly say, but yes, it's probably a little bit of both, and probably the reason why they're getting hit is because of their bad defense, as you put it. But yeah, as you get older, it seems as though the chin, your ability to take a shot, absorb a shot, defend a shot goes away. And more often than not, I think it happens the more shots you take. Or you get one big shot and then you come back and you just don't have the ability to absorb it as much as you once did. No one, I think, enters the big leagues, so to speak, becomes a pro, becomes a champion or a contender and has a bad chin. Something happens, whether it's wear and tear or a big shot that knocks out and changes the trajectory of your career. Something happens. I don't think any of these guys had bad chins early on, if you want to say any of them do. Something happened. They had a big knockout. It changes the course of your career. And that's where, concussions and CTE and all that stuff come into play. Knucklehead guy. Hey there from Kitchener, Ontario. Really enjoyed your Tuesday special with Nate and your chat with Andrew. Thank you. Really hope you do more of those long-form chats. I love them. As I felt you were able to truly bounce around and give us a more honest feel for what your guests are all about while having more room to digress into some truly golden, memorable moments. I especially loved you chatting with Andrew about the new wave of fighters coming up, in particular within the 155 group. With so many upcoming contenders poised to take over, I could see in another year or so, maybe less, belts changing hands almost as much as with the heavyweights. Do you think this is an accurate estimate? Man, Islam gets the belt. I don't know who's beating him anytime soon. Maybe. Are there any upcoming contenders who you think will, once they get the belt, assuming they will, can hold on to it longer than others? Keep on keeping on, Thug knows. Yeah, I mean, Islam would be up there. I mean, Volk is on fire these days. Main one is Islam, but yeah, I see what you mean. At 35, at 25, Volk is champion. I don't see anyone. I mean, after Pajeda, there isn't a lot right now for Izzy. I think the 205 belt can jump around. I'm really curious to see what happens with Pena and Nunes, but that belt could jump around. I still don't think Valentina's losing in the near future. 115 could jump around. But yeah, Islam is the guy I think who's keeping it. If he could get it. Olajuwon, afternoon Ariel. Interview with Nate yesterday was freaking amazing. Loved every second of it, especially the appearance of Machiavelli the Don. He might be the coolest dog ever. What about that smile? Incredible. Brings me to my question. Do Nick and Nate do much together? I noticed he wasn't there, but he had an Instagram story last night and looked like he was back in Stockton too. And has there been any updates with Nick? I know he has said that he wants to fight by the end of the year, but has there been anything in motion there? Not to my knowledge. Or was his fight against Lawler likely the last time we see him in the octagon? I wouldn't hate it. I can't say for sure, but I've not heard of any talk of him coming back anytime soon. Would love to see both Diaz bros back in there soon. Have a great show and day. No, they still love each other. He was wearing the shirt. He will be loyal to him, respect him. But, just because he wasn't there, I wouldn't make too much of it. Nick's his own guy. He's all over the place. Haven't heard anything about his fight or him coming back. And, I'm good. But ultimately, it's up to him. I hope he's in a place where he doesn't need to fight for financial reasons. Like you would hope. And I know he's talked about his issues in the past, but that would be the worst thing. Moritz School. Hi, Ariel. Just a couple more here. Hopefully you're doing great. Did you see Cedric Doumbé's second MMA fight last weekend at the French MMA Grand Prix? He won by TKO in the second round. Speaking to French media after the fight, the former Glory kickboxing welterweight champion announced that he has signed with the UFC and is likely to make his promotional debut at UFC Paris. Tremendous signing. In fact, the great New York Rick said himself, I don't know if he's still here, he said that Cedric is the next great kickboxing champion to come over to MMA who will make a great impact in the UFC. That's his prediction. And he's been pretty spot on with those predictions. He knows kickboxing better than anyone I know. And he called Izzy and Alex, all these dudes. Any suggestions regarding Doumbé's opponent? Golly. I mean, just 2 MMA fights. I would bring him along slowly. He's fighting in France in front of his people. Let him fight anyone. Give him the Patty treatment. You know what I'm saying? Viva Helwani, greetings from the Netherlands. Doumbé also said this right before his TKO victory last weekend. The UFC contract is arriving. It all depends on tonight, but the contract will arrive and we will sign it in September, inshallah. Pressure because it's like the Champions League of MMA, but exciting too because fear of nobody. We want so bad to perform well that we have pressure. Yeah, that's a great signing. The more French fighters they can have on that card, the better. Of course, the great Cyril Gane is at the top of the bill. Brett. During our interview with Nate, he tipped his hat to Ngannou and Adesanya, claiming they are the only worthy opponents for him. Do you think the reason for this is potentially because both fighters, in a way, won against the house? Ngannou becoming a free agent as champ, Izzy withholding signing the contract versus Whitaker until fight week and securing a massive deal? Or am I reading too far into this? I think maybe he has respect for them, but I think maybe he was talking about like dominant champions, right? Great line, by the way. So might be reading a little too far into it. Respect, but I don't think that's necessarily why he said that. P.S. Congrats to Rick on the big win last weekend. Oh, Vaziev. Why not congratulate me on my big win? I had a big win too. Last one. Jesus, pleasant day to you, Mr. Helwani. All good things come to an end, but let me tell you, I was absolutely gutted when my show-ending question streak was snapped last week. I'm sorry. Please take it up with Lewis. He makes the calls, not me. I realized yesterday why my question was cut, and I completely understand. The length of the question probably didn't help either. I have a two-parter for you. I would like to know, how do you envision collegiate MMA panning out with NIL laws changing? Can MMA be a part of a structured system that succeeds within college sports? Tough. There's no real like college boxing. You know what I mean? Tough. Don't see it happening anytime soon. There's barely an amateur MMA system in place. You got the IMF, but in America, I'm talking about, which is where collegiate sports are really a thing. It's not really much of a thing overseas. It's kind of a thing in Canada, Europe, not really. So there's not even an amateur system. Much love from the 209 and Viva Helwani. Regards, Jesus, a student athlete, advocate, and proud Stocktonian. P.S. What is the probability that the Diaz brothers and Ariel Helwani do something MMA related in Stockton, California? I've been to Stockton once. I was there for an Elite XC show in 2008. Robbie Lawler was on it, Shayna Baszler, Chris Cyborg, Scott Smith. Nick was on it, of course. I loved Stockton. I really enjoyed it. Beautiful arena, on the water, close to the Bay Area. I went to a movie there. I rented a car. This is one of my great memories in Stockton. Well, first it was the arena on the water was beautiful. The arena itself was nice. I did some stuff for MMA Rated there. It's all up on the MMA Rated YouTube channel, which is still alive and well, amazingly. I did a pre-fight interview at the press conference with Nick. Whole interview, 8, 9, 10 minutes. Interview's over. He says he doesn't like the interview, and we do it all over again. It was amazing. The fact he could have said, I didn't like it, and I'm out. He didn't say that. He said, let's do it again. We did the whole thing again. The interview is up. Legend. What we have always talked about a potential walk and talk, something there. Hasn't happened. Never say never. Would be nice, but I'm grateful and thankful that he comes on the show via Zoom or any form. Skype back in the day, Zoom. In studio would be nice as well. I like when people come here. You know, this is kind of, in my eyes at least, maybe not in other people's eyes, the Tonight Show of MMA. You come on the set. You come, you sit, you kibitz, you hobnob, you chop it up, and then you go back to your own, neck of the woods. That's the way I like it. Anyway, all right, we're out of time. I believe, GC, you got a big night ahead of you, right? Perfect.